Hello, goddesses. Welcome to your reading. In this pick a card reading, we are going to acknowledge, a spirit is going to acknowledge the beautiful ways in which you have embraced and stepped into your goddess energy in such an empowering way, in a way that is self-empowering, in a way that spills over and into the world in a way that blesses us all. All right, so we have three options here, and I'll hold up these options so you can see them more clearly. The first one is this tree branch earring. So that's number one. Number two is this little chime with a sun. So a sun chime. And number three is this peacock earring. Peacock feather. Okay, so whenever you have made your choice, or maybe you're drawn to more than one pile, just use the timestamps in the description box below, and I will see you at your reading. Okay, welcome to everybody who chose reading number one, which was represented by this tree branch. So we're going to just see, we'll look at that in a moment. We're going to see how it is that you are stepping into the power of your goddess energy. I want to look at that at the end, actually, that card. All right, so let's look at these cards. Clover, release your guilt. So the first thing that you are doing is, I feel like you are finding yourself having lucky opportunities in your life. You're bringing luck into your life simply through the process of letting go of guilt and shame. And I feel, you know, especially as women, but as divine feminines in general, because not all divine feminines, not all people who feel in touch with goddess energy and necessarily identify as women, but in our femininity, we have been made to feel a lot of guilt and shame, you know? And I feel like you're allowing that to sort of be burned away, and you're understanding that you are more than this lie that has been told you about this guilt and shame that has maybe been placed upon you. And you're realizing this was placed upon me, and I can take it off. I can remove myself from the burden of this guilt and shame. So that's very beautiful. We also have dragons, slay them all. Yeah, I feel that you, again, you're sort of claiming your birthright here. You're moving towards this castle. You know that there are many blessings that are due to you, and there have been many sorts of demons or dragons that have been trying to stand between you and these blessings that you do deserve. And they can come in many forms. For you, some of them may have been, you know, guilt or shame. Being made to feel perhaps that there's something about you that makes you unworthy of these blessings. That, but you have cleared that away. You've made so much progress in understanding that nothing can hold you back. So you might even be slaying your internal dragons, your internal demons. But you've also not been allowing anyone else to have some sort of power over you. You're like, no, this is, I'm not going to put up with that anymore. I am empowered. I'm building the life of my fullest potential, and nothing will stand in my way. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not scared of, you know, with this sword, I feel like I'm not scared of speaking my truth. I'm not scared of clearing my own path and making my own way. You know, I am a survivor, and I'm also a thriver. That's the energy that you're having. And then we have mural. Be your own first priority. Yes. Wow, this is so interesting how this, I mean, I randomly drew these cards, but we have fire here, we have a castle here, and look what she's painting in her mural. It is a castle on fire. You know, I feel as well that you're just putting yourself first, and I also just get this idea that you've decided what your vision is of your best life, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the vision that someone else might have for what a best life would be. You're deciding for yourself the blessings that you want to claim. And I feel that part of your goddess power right now is that obviously you're putting yourself first, you're making yourself a priority, but you're also envisioning, you're allowing yourself to think about this life that you have created and are continuing to be in the creation of making. You're allowing yourself to envision your full potential and really see what that is. I feel it's sort of like you're your own muse. You are inspiring yourself. You're your own greatest source of inspiration. So this is really beautiful. Now we had a song coming out, and it's Alicia Keys' Fallen. Okay. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. Sometimes I love you. Sometimes you make me blue. Sometimes I feel good. At times I feel used. Loving you, darling, makes me so confused. I never loved someone the way that I love you. I never felt this way. How do you give me so much pleasure and cause me so much pain? Just when I think I've taken more than would a fool, I start falling back in love with you. I feel like this is about you falling in and out of love with yourself. You have done that. And I think that it's sort of like every time you feel that you've lost touch with that love with yourself, you find it again. You never lose it. And I feel like it gets stronger. Every time you return back to this self-love, it becomes stronger than it had ever been before. So let me just get into this Light Seers Tarot and see what else we have here. Another message that I'm getting just before we do that, just from the object that you chose, which was this tree branch earring, is, this branch, it doesn't have any leaves, right? So this is a tree branch, at the end of autumn when all of the leaves have fallen. This is you understanding and having acceptance for the fact that certain things did need to be burned out of your life. Certain things needed to be cleared away, that we can't hold on to certain things forever, and we're not meant to. There is a power in letting go, because in the letting go, we purify ourselves and we cleanse and prepare ourselves for the new life that is to become, So it's going back to this song. You have fallen in love with certain circumstances before, because you needed those circumstances, perhaps, but that doesn't mean that you continue to need them. You gave birth to these leaves on your branches, and those leaves were beautiful, and they burned bright, and they burst into color as they were meant to do. Certain circumstances in your life came into it to help you to fall in love with yourself. But that's the purpose that they served, and when they had served that purpose completely, you let them go and you moved on, because you knew there will always be more, and I need to, keep loving myself enough not to get so attached when it's time to let go. So that's part of your goddess power as well. Let's see what else. I'm just going to pull these in upright. Yes, it's very much about self-love. I feel like the message of the Ace of Cups, well, it can mean many things, but one of the messages really is about self-love. She's holding this cup up in front of her own heart, and she's allowing it to be full of her love and appreciation for herself. And it is because of this self-love that her cup runneth over. Her love overflows, and it is a blessing. And it continues to bless her and everyone she meets. Yeah, I feel like you are in love with yourself enough to be able to envision what your best future is. And like back to this burning castle, like your idea of what the best future is may very well be very different from what someone else's idea of the best future is. But you know what life you're building, and I feel like you feel very confident that you're creating a security and a legacy for yourself that is substantial and meaningful, that is profound. And I feel that you have been someone who has found a way to incorporate different aspects of yourself. So this angel is holding a sun in one hand and a moon in the other. So you've embraced your lightness, you've embraced your darkness, your understanding, as you part of slaying demons is recognizing, or slaying dragons is, recognizing that our greatest dragon is our inability to accept our shadow. That when we accept and acknowledge and integrate our shadow, the shadow doesn't control us, right? The shadow doesn't have power over us. That's part of what doing shadow work is. It's taking away the power of the shadow. So I feel like you are someone who's really been able to fully integrate yourself and acknowledge all aspects of who you are, and not feel that you have to be just one thing or the other, that you can be multifaceted. Yeah, definitely with the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, I feel that you are someone who really, it's important to you to establish this sort of long-term security for yourself. We had these two castles as well, which kind of symbolize that Pentacles energy as well. Like you're embracing the material world in a way that suits you, It's not this lie of, embracing the material world in a way that it seems like it suits other people. We can look to see what other people find valuable, but you're understanding what is truly valuable to me. What does it mean to be living my best life in a material sense? And I feel like that is very empowering to you as you continue to create this life for yourself. And we have the Ace of Swords here. I feel that you just have this strong clarity and understanding of your own path. At this point in your evolution, you recognize, first of all, that you are constantly evolving, and you embrace that, and you understand that the past of who you have been has led you to where you are, and the present of who you are is leading you to the future you. And all of it is beautiful, and all of it is meaningful. Back to this Temperance card of fully integrating the self, you're not having any shame or guilt over your past anymore. There's nothing about your life that you need to feel guilty about. Everything has served its purpose. It has all been like this winding spiral staircase that is continuing to lead you to the most evolved version of yourself. And I feel like you are excited about that. It's been a real path of healing. You have had to do a lot of personal healing in order to get to this place that you are now, where you can be your own muse, your own source of inspiration. Let's see what else. For some reason, this deck, when I was just kind of getting prepared for this reading, this deck, I don't use this too much, but this, so that message is stuck in the lid. You are one of the most reliable people I know. Thank you. So you're a very reliable person, but I feel like you're recognizing that of yourself. I think these are the thank yous from you to yourself, that you have understood that you're more than anyone or more than anything are the person that you can rely on. And you're understanding, that you're your own source of security as well. Many of my favorite memories are with you. Yes, you have wonderful memories of yourself, and you're understanding that. You're looking to your past even as a source of inspiration and confirmation of your worth. It's not a source of guilt anymore. It's a source of your worth. Your example inspires me to be better. Yeah, again, there's a lot of emphasis here on the past self, and a recognition that your past self has really been what has led you to who you are. So you're not going to disown any aspects of yourself, including your past self. And maybe your past self wasn't where you wanted yourself to be, but you could not have gotten to where you are without that past self having that recognition, for one thing, right? And so you're inspired by that past self who was inspired to evolve and improve. And so you continue to do that. You inspire me to be a better person. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a continuation of that same message. You're a wonderful parent. Yeah, I feel that if you are a parent, you are recognizing that everything that you've been through in life, all of this, coming into your goddess energy, slaying those demons, coming to terms with creating your own best vision for your life, recognizing that you are an evolving soul and how beautiful that process is, letting go of guilt and shame. This has led you to this ability to be a wonderful parent. And if you're not a parent and you want to be, this is just a reminder of how wonderful a parent you can be. And if you have no desire to be a parent, I think that this is just an indication of the beautiful influence that you have on young people, that you are a wonderful soul who can be an inspiration to others. I admire your dedication to finishing what you start. Yeah, I think that you had to, at some point in your past, you had to make a decision to start a healing journey, a very difficult healing journey. And like the woman on this card, maybe you sort of had your head down a little bit. You may have been doubtful about that journey, but you knew that it was one that you had to take. You packed your bags, you got in the boat, you trusted the guidance that, okay, this is the direction that I need to move in. I think that there may be some thunderstorms along the way, but it's a healing process that is necessary, and it's a healing process that I will choose to take. So let's see what this card is. It says soul mating. Interesting. And I'm just going to read from the book, and then just, if there are any further interpretations from beyond that. But this is, to me, this is the kind of deck where it's really best to just read from the book rather than to try to channel a message. Although, again, we have the sword imagery in the heart. It is, I do get an initial message that you are kind of rising into your goddess energy through having this greater clarity of self-love. So that's the initial message that I get, but I want to read from the book as well. Let's see. Okay, embrace your soul to reveal a partner. All right, and we did, this Alicia Keys song, it is about, falling in love. It is, of course, it's about romantic love. I interpreted it as self-love, but you have to embrace your soul and love your own soul before you can really be prepared for or bring in a soulmate experience, right? Okay, so it says, a new encounter or a deepening of an already existing union will profoundly change the way you perceive unconditional love. Chemistry between two people does not mean they are life partners. You have entered each other's life to awaken, expand, and open your heart so wide that they may never close again. It may last for a moment, a season, or a lifetime. Time is not necessary to shift the cogs of your heart and feel the absolute ecstasy of you. A moment can open you to euphoria. The purpose of a soul relationship is to mirror your love and light and melt away any hard edges or walls you have built. Whatever is mirrored will intensify. Love and peace will feel bigger, but so will fear or pain. This reveals any wounds that hold us away from love so that we can heal them as we embrace more of the love we already recognize. Yeah, so with this tree branch and this song, you're recognize part of your goddess energy is in recognizing that, sometimes we have this chemistry or we're magnetized to a certain person, and it may very well be a soulmate, but that doesn't mean that we have to cling on to that. We don't have to think that this is the only moment of that we will ever experience, or the only person that we may ever experience that with. When it comes time to let go, when it's time to fall out of love with someone, you recognize the power of that. Falling out of love is not a bad thing. It's a way of forward movement, in a sense, because again, it's like the tree preparing itself again for the next cycle. So yeah, I feel like your ability to allow yourself to fall out of love when it's time to do so, understanding those seasons of your life, that sometimes that's what the season of your life requires, that is bringing you into this greater love of yourself. And you may have attracted certain people because it triggered, again, maybe this healing. It sort of was mentioned in the book's message as well, that people come into our lives so that we can experience a greater opening of the heart chakra, And we can recognize maybe that that's really what the purpose was in certain circumstances, that it wasn't necessarily, it's not always meant to last. But there's always a meaning to it at some level. So, all right, so this is the message that I'm getting for you all. That was beautiful. I hope that you enjoyed it and got something helpful out of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right, welcome to everyone who chose number 2, this sun chime. So the first thing that this tells me, the fact that you chose this, is about that you are stepping into your goddess energy, or you're already embodying your goddess energy, partly because you are willing to shine now. You're ready to be in the spotlight. The myth of the sun goddess, there are many sun goddesses, but there are 2 different sun goddesses who have a very similar story. And her story is about, here she is shining brilliant in her power as the sun goddess, and her brother is jealous of her, and he violently attacks her. And so in fear, she goes and she hides herself away in a cave. And at some point, the people try to coax her out, so they place a mirror outside of the cave, and she peeks out, and she sees herself, her own light, and she doesn't recognize even at first that it is her light, but it's what draws her out of that cave. So I feel like this is you drawing yourself out of your own isolation, that maybe you have hid your light away because maybe a fear of being empowered in your feminine energy. Maybe you have been intimidated by masculine energy, or you maybe have even experienced violence at the hands of masculine energy. And your power, your goddess power, comes through your recognition that I will not let that keep me any longer from being in my light and shining in my full glory. So that's the first message. And then we have the Phoenix. How's that for a happily ever after? Wow, what is she doing here? It says once upon a time in this book, but she's focused on, this is it's kind of like a creator-destroyer type energy. So this sort of reminds me of those goddesses like Kali and Pele, who bring about new life through really actually kind of burning down what's currently existing. So I feel like this is a little bit about burning down the power of patriarchy and misogyny. Once upon a time, you're like, those stupid fairy tales, listen. You're like, I think that I can come up with a better story for myself. Thank you very much. And then we have Throne. Your potential is endless. Yes. And also the back of all these cards, there's a beautiful crown. And again, stepping back into your glory, you are not afraid to be empowered. You are not afraid to take your throne and have this place of leadership that women have been denied so long. You are understanding that you are meant to be in some sort of prominent role of influence and power. And it doesn't matter that masculine energy wants to take that from you. You're not letting that fool you anymore. You're not letting that impede you anymore. You're bringing yourself out of that cave and back into your rightful throne, your rightful place in the sky. Thorns. Weave together the crown you deserve. Again, crown. Crown is coming up. Oh my God, in all these cards, actually. She's wearing a crown. She's wearing a crown. And then this says, weave together the crown you deserve. Yes, you are crowning yourself with your own glory. I feel like you're applauding yourself. You're giving yourself a throne. You're like, listen, if the patriarchy doesn't want to give me a throne, I will give it to myself. I don't have to wait around for the patriarchy to decide that I'm good enough to take this role of leadership and to be shining in this way where my beautiful energy is seen and where I can bring this warmth into the world. When the sun goddess went away, she was missed. The world was in darkness without her. And we are at a time collectively when the divine feminines are rising back into their rightful glory and power. So I feel like you are really embracing this rising back of the divine feminine. And that's beautiful. So we have a song here, and it's Radiohead Creep. I don't know what this would mean about the message so far, but let's just see. When you were here before, couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I want to have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're starting to recognize too, like part of why masculine energy has been so dominating and has tried to put feminine energy down to such a degree is because it really comes from this place of jealousy. Just like in the sun goddess myth that I was talking about, you know, this is a jealousy. It's a feeling of, there is something very sacred and special about feminine energy that people who don't have that feminine energy, I mean, we all have a masculinity and femininity, but some people don't know how to embrace that, and they feel ashamed even of their own feminine energy. And so they have almost this hostility or antagonism against feminine energy, and that's the root of this misogyny and patriarchy. Let's just get some tarot to sort of like give us a better understanding of what this song is trying to tell us, or anything else that needs to come through about you embracing your goddess energy. I feel like, couldn't look you in the eye. I do feel like you are, taking this throne in a way that is making any man or anyone who with a very masculine dominating energy like that feel a little bit embarrassed. Like, wow, now that you're back in the sky as this sun goddess, I feel a little bit embarrassed that I ever tried to take that power away from you, because I understand the fullness of your power. And in fact, your energy is very intimidating to a lot of masculines. So we have the Ace of Cups. This was the first card that came up in reading number 1 as well. I mean, the best thing that we can do to really step into our goddess energy, of course, is have that self-love. That self-love and understanding of our worth, and that we deserve these milestones. We deserve the throne. And we're not going to deny ourselves that glory anymore. We deserve that as much as, the divine feminine rising back into her power. It's not about emasculating the divine masculine. It's about saying this needs to be balanced out. There's no balance here to be had, and we want our balance back. Yeah, we've got in the background, we've got this big ship and we've got this small ship, and it's like we're not going to be made to feel small anymore. This has been so out of balance for so long, and we will not put up with it anymore. So I think a lot of you watching this number 2 probably are feminists in some way, even if maybe you don't claim the term, but you do understand the power of femininity, and you are not afraid to wield that power and to sit on that throne. Yeah, you're the Queen of Swords. You're like, no nonsense. I'm not going to put up with the bullshit anymore. And in fact, in some ways, maybe you're not afraid to emasculate a man if you feel that it's necessary to bring things back into balance. You've been hurt. You've been victimized by masculinity, and you're saying, well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you need to know what that feels like, then sure, I'll chop your fucking balls off and I'll smile afterwards. The way that you have smiled in those many ways in which you have victimized me. And maybe that's what's required in certain moments, even if it's just with your words. I mean, the Queen of Swords, she can kill you even with her eyes. She can even look at you in a way that will make you feel diminished, if that's what's necessary. And you will say, you have smiled at the way that you have victimized women and feminines. And if that's what you need, if you need to know on your end what that is like, then absolutely, I'll make you feel the weight of that. I'll make you feel the pain of it. If that's what's required, if that's how you need it to be for us to step back into our rightful throne, then so be it. I'm not afraid to do that. I'm not afraid of anything. I am a star. I am the sun. I'm here to shine. You know, I'm a blessing to this world. You will not force me into darkness again. I am on a journey. This is a spiritual journey, and I embrace this journey. You know, I am driving this chariot. You're not driving my chariot anymore. I am driving this chariot. I have learned a lot of lessons in this life that I've been given. And my number one lesson that I have learned is to let go of the bullshit. Let go of the bullshit. And here again, we see this sun, this beautiful sun lighting up the sky in all of this beautiful yellow color. And, you know, there's this, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of embracing this new experience of being back on my throne and in my power as a feminine. Yes. Yeah, again, taking the throne. I'm not afraid to take the throne. This is my rightful place, and I will not give it up. Let's see what else we get here. These are your own goddess messages to yourself coming out of these cards. If you ever need someone to talk to, just let me know. So I feel like you know that you are your own source of power. You are your greatest source of support. You might be someone who does kind of talk to yourself or like commune with yourself to go within and find your goddess wisdom within yourself, knowing that it is there. Thank you for being such a great listener. Yeah, I do feel like you are that person. You are conversing with yourself and asking your own self questions, knowing that you are the one who holds the answers. The Queen of Swords has that energy as well. I really appreciate your comforting words. Yeah, you converse with yourself. This is interesting. And you're so brave. Yes, like we were talking about with this Queen of Swords. You're recognizing your bravery too. It takes bravery when you have been treated in the way that the Sun Goddess has been treated. To say, I will come back out and shine. I know that there will again be people who come for me and try to pull me out of the sky, but the sky is my throne, and that is where I will abide. You are brave and you are courageous. It's the same thing, right? But yeah, you're not backing down from the glory that you know is rightfully yours. Okay, so your card from the Secret Language of Light deck is Inward Revolution. And this is the kind of deck that I feel like I need to kind of just read from the book. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like you all need this opening message too from Osho. It says, and it says Inward Revolution. This is about going inward. Go inwards. Find your inner space, and suddenly you will find an explosion of light, of beauty, of ecstasy, as if suddenly thousands of roses have blossomed within you and you are full of their fragrance. Well, we have all of these beautiful roses here, so that's so meaningful, and it does, so now I can see why I was led to read that. It reminds me of something that Rose McGowan said when the Me Too movement was starting in interviews, and I don't know the direct quote, but she said something like, you know, she said, years ago, I decided that I would change the world by at least 10%, that I would improve the world by at least 10%. And I thought, I have never in my life heard anyone say anything so ambitious and powerful as that. And it is true. She had this tremendous influence, right? Because she was willing to be brave and stand up against the brutal masculinity, against misogyny, misogynistic violence. Yeah, so that is so wonderful. As if thousands of roses have blossomed within you and you are full of their fragrance. So let's see what the card's message says as well. 148. The way of your heart. You are always moving forward, even when you feel like you are going backward. Your path may seem to go up and down, or inward and outward, like towards in the sky and then inward towards the cave, right? The spiral is a symbol of your soul journey. It represents the cyclical adventure into your heart center. You will continually revisit aspects of your life to bring you to deeper understanding. Difficulties and challenges can command a greater focus as they help to build bigger and better dreams and desires. Each cycle of life is an important stepping stone that expands into the next. Your life will only feel authentic when you come to your own conclusions. And what did we talk about? Actually, this is reminding me a lot of reading number 1, so that reading might be a pertinent message to you all as well. Let's see. An inward revolution will open you to the wisdom of your soul. And that's what kept coming up with these cards as well, about that you do talk to yourself, you talk to your soul, you visit with your soul, and you do find that wisdom that's already inherent within you. It is a path we must all take to truly know and love ourselves. From this place, we move outward, back into the world, back into the sky, empowered with our soul's wisdom. You are worthy of all you desire, no matter where you are in your spiral. Yeah, so I think that part of this is saying, if we have withdrawn into the cave, if we have been scared of what the world presents us with in certain moments, and if we have retreated from the world and retreated from our own glory and power because of those moments, it's about coming to peace and having self-love and compassion for those moments as well. Every moment in our lives has been meaningful, and there's nothing about our life that diminishes our shine, our light. All right. So I really hope that this was helpful and meaningful to you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. All right. Welcome to everyone who chose reading number 3, which was this peacock feather. So I feel like you are meant to be showing all of your true colors. That's one of the messages, I believe, of the peacock, is to be willing to show your colors, to be willing to sort of strut your stuff and be in your confidence. So let's see what else we get here. This is a song message that we'll look at in a moment. Let's start out with these. Okay, escapist, come home to yourself. So I feel like one of the ways in which you own your goddess energy is just kind of being comfortable in your own energy, maybe being your own best companion at times. Like chilling at home. I feel like you've probably created a comfortable environment for yourself in your home where you feel safe and cozy. It's like nurturing yourself. She's wearing her pajamas. She's connecting to this book. So I feel like it's, you're able to go into your own little world in a way that is just very beautiful and self-loving and comforting. I think that you have learned how to comfort yourself as well, to find a home within yourself. Evil Queen, you deserve sugar, not salt. Yeah, so I feel like you probably have, maybe you have had a difficult upbringing. You may have, maybe the adults in your life or just people you've encountered in your life have been like these evil queens who have tried to make you not feel at home. I'm kind of reminded of Cinderella here. She lived in this home, but her stepmother and her stepsisters made her feel that it wasn't her home, right? They made her feel that she wasn't welcome. And so I think you've overcome these challenges that people have presented to you in your life, and you are recognizing this sense of home and belonging that maybe has been denied to you before. And you're coming back into your own sweetness and your innocence. Lavender, surround yourself with love. Yeah. Maybe you're creating a home for yourself. You've been mistreated by people before, and it may have given you this message that you're not worthy of this sort of comfortable atmosphere. Both of these are, you know, like home, like feeling at home. I feel like you're finding and drawing to you with your goddess energy the types of people who also make you feel at home and comfortable, unlike what maybe you've experienced in certain times in your life where it was the opposite of that. And you just have created a really beautiful space for yourself. Like when you go home, it's like a retreat into this true sanctuary. It feels very abundant in all ways. It's abundant with beauty. You know, you've decorated your space in a way that makes you feel really comfortable and happy. And it's maybe an outward expression of your inner self. But it's also a comfortable space where you can invite in people who are kindred spirits who also make you feel safe and comfortable and okay. And you're finding you're finding those people who are family. You know, even if they're not blood family, you're finding your own family. Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the goddess Vesta, of course. She's a goddess of the home and hearth. So finding your own goddess energy, your own divinity in the home space is very important for you. So also I feel with you guys, you've been on some sort of significant life journey. You have also ventured outside of home, partly because maybe the home that you originally were born into didn't feel like a home. You know, it felt like you were not welcome. And it may be that, or it may be some other circumstance in your life where you're like, well, I definitely don't feel welcome here. So, you know, if that's the case, then I will venture outside of this space where I'm not welcome, and I will just see what's out there in the world. It's funny because a lot of the in literature, a lot of like coming of age stories are about people who were sort of orphans, or they didn't have like a welcoming home space in some sense where they felt at home. And so it made them in a way be more free to kind of get out and explore the world and not feel maybe held back or overly sheltered. So I feel like you may have kind of been pushed out of the nest early, but I think you've embraced that journey and you're like, yeah, it's been painful. It's not like it didn't hurt to be pushed out and to made to feel like I don't belong or I'm not welcome here. But it also has led me to a wonderful journey, and the journey I appreciate, and I appreciate myself also for taking that journey. Because you're saying, you know what, it's bullshit that I was ever treated this way and made to feel in this, to be unwelcome, made to be feel that, you know, I should ever be treated, you know, the way that Cinderella was treated in that story. But you're like, ultimately, it's led me to this life that has given me so much wisdom. And so I respect the wisdom that I have found along the way. I respect myself for my own ability to kind of strike out on my own and find my own truths, to find my own way in life. Yeah, again, about the journey. It's not like it was easy. You know, it's not like you were like, well, I'm so glad that these people treated me like crap. It's not that. It did bring a lot of pain, I feel like. You know, you've been treated in ways in your life that brought a lot of pain, but it compelled you towards something that was better for you. And I feel like you have just this sense of honor and respect for yourself, that you were willing, you know, to go out and find what was really meant for you in life. You know, and this kind of reminds me a little bit of Cinderella, this Queen of Cups. So I feel like you are recognizing that just like in that story, you also are going to be blessed, or you're already feeling maybe these blessings of love. I think you are. You're feeling this sense of, there are people who love me and appreciate me, and I had to venture outside of this prior experience of being pushed out. I had to venture beyond that in order to really know how to find my true family. Let's see what else. Yeah, I feel like you are feeling happier than you have ever felt before. And even I'm getting the message, because this is a card about childhood, that if you did have a difficult childhood, I think you're at a place in your life now where you can look back at your childhood and you don't just see the sorrow. Maybe the sorrow and the pain of it is what hung over those memories for so long, but you're at a good place in your life now where you can look back at childhood and actually find and locate and re-experience those happy memories of childhood, and give equal weight to those. Let's see here. I think that, you're drawing upon the strength of your inner child, that inner child that has been wounded, but you're finding, again, that the inner child that was innocent and happy, that the child in you that was happy before all of this negativity really became such a burden on you, that then you had to go on this journey in life to sort of unburden yourself of those difficult times that you had experienced. I think that you're understanding that you're worthy of love. We have the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. No matter what your gender or your orientation is, I feel like the journey that you're taking is allowing you to understand. I guess there's a reason why I was bringing up the story of Cinderella, right? What does she find in the end? She does get her happily ever after in love. She was not loved at home, but she found a new home. She found this belief in herself. She understood that there are people who care enough about me, and I'm willing to venture beyond this victimization and to really get out into the world and carve a place for myself. And in the process, she finds true love. So I think that you have probably, because of the circumstances of your life, you've found a lot of untrue love along the way, because maybe your childhood, your early experiences taught you that that's all that you were worth. So you may have gone through multiple experiences of kind of drawing romantic partners to you that were, like I said, a very unhealthy, destructive version of love, of romantic love. And this in and of itself was this burden. And so multiple times you've had to go through this Eight of Cups experience of walking away. Just like you walked away from the pain of your childhood, you've had to walk away from romantic situations as well, where you have not been treated with the true love that you have deserved. And so I think that you are in this place now of being able to find, or at least being able for your heart to be prepared for experiencing true love in all ways, in friendship and in romantic love. Yeah, and I think it's becoming less like the Eight of Cups, where the Eight of Cups is a little bit of a sorrowful way of moving on, but we're moving on because we know that we have to, right? The circumstances do not suit us. We have to move forward, but there's moving forward with sorrow. And I think you're more in the energy now at this place in your life of just moving forward, like with exhilaration and excitement. I'm happy to be moving forward. This journey of life is exciting. And again, the Queen of Pentacles too is much about home and hearth. I know how to create my own comfort in life. I don't have to rely on someone else to do that for me. So let's see what else we have. Been using this deck too for this reading. And these are love messages from your goddess self to you. You are a gift to those around you. Yeah. You're a gift because you've been able to rise above this pain. And it's a privilege to work with you. Yeah, I would say that if you're someone who likes to work with the goddesses, or you just like, learning about goddesses or anything like that, I feel like this is kind of a message from goddesses in general about that they love being able to work with you in this beautiful journey. But your own goddess, your own inner goddess, is also so excited that you have incorporated her more into your heart and into this journey that you have taken, that you're recognizing her power within you so strongly right now, and in such a way that you are excited and revitalized about life. I admire your ability to bring out the best in others. Yes, there's something about your experience of being treated this way, that you've been treated pretty salty by people before, that people have been actively antagonistic towards your worth rather than recognizing your worth. You understand how important it is to be more like the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. You know, these are queens who make people feel loved and make people feel comfortable. And like this, when you welcome people into your home, you welcome them in like this. You make sure that you are making the people you love feel comfortable and safe, because you know how painful it is to be treated otherwise. I admire your ability to stay positive in challenging situations. Yeah, you've had these challenging situations, but you didn't give up faith in yourself. You didn't give up hope. It was painful. We had that Three of Swords before. It was really painful. But you have persevered. You have carried on. You didn't let it get the best of you. So the last thing that I want to do here is, oh wait, we didn't read your song oracle message. Okay, so there's a song oracle message as well. Yeah, I didn't read one for you all. Okay, so it's Halsey Graveyard. It's crazy when the thing you love the most is the detriment. Let that sink in. You can think again when the hand you want to hold is a weapon and you're nothing but skin. Oh, 'cause I keep digging myself down deeper. I won't stop till I get where you are. I keep running. They say I may be making a mistake. I would have followed all the way, no matter how far. I know when you go down all your darkest roads, I would have followed all the way to the graveyard. There was a past self of you that would have done that. And I think it comes back to this Devil card and what I was getting about, you know, because you were treated so cruelly when you were young, most likely, you attracted romantic situations that were kind of a repeat experience of that. And there were times when you would have been like this. It's crazy when the thing you love the most is the detriment. I love that. Let that sink in. You know, when the person that you're most attached to is the person who's actually the most destructive to you. And even so, there are times when we know that someone is destructive to us, and we still would have been in this energy of, I would have followed all the way to the graveyard. I would have, and until you kind of came more into your worth and understood that you deserve better, you would have continued to follow this type of unhealthy love into your own personal graveyard, in a sense, right? You would have allowed these types of situations to be your own undoing, but you're not living in that energy anymore. You have learned better. So what is this? Light beings from the Sequent Language of Light deck. So I'm just going to read from the book and see what the book says, and I might have some further interpretation based on what the book says. So let's just see. All right, enlightened soul information. This image depicts a light being. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of see this face with this like swirling, I don't know what this is, swirling cosmic energy here. And its hand is holding up the earth. Okay, this image depicts a light being. The term light being is used to describe a range of ethereal forms, including guides and angels. They observe your life from a higher perspective so they can see the most auspicious path for you to create your dreams and desires. Sometimes your light beings may seem to take you down a path fraught with difficulty. Well, what have we been talking about? However, everything happens for a reason. Just like Cinderella had a horrible experience, but what did it lead to her to in the end, right? Just as we know a baby will eventually walk, you will also find your footing and attain your dreams. I think that you're already doing that. Your light beings are not here to save you for that would interfere with your ability to create unique paths and conclusions. So we're not meant for everything to happen perfectly in our lives. So when we have those painful experiences, at some level they serve, like we were even talking about earlier, to kind of set you off on a journey that you're meant to take, which you have done. You have carved your own unique path, and you're creating your own conclusions, your own happily ever after. They are the keepers of the faith that hold and stream your past, present, and future dreams and desires to your heart. Only you can decide what to do with that information. You can't get it wrong, for your light beings will just show you another way. So this is sort of a message of, I think that you've learned to sort of trust your path, to be your own waymaker, and to trust, like this says, you can't really get it wrong, because every path that you go down will lead to an experience that enriches your soul. Everything that you have experienced, even if it has been painful, has been meaningful to you in some way, and you have found your power in that meaning. Now, I didn't do this for the other readings, and I think I meant to, but I have this thing full of fortunes here, and I just want to see if there's a fortune message for you. Forgot to do this with the other ones. Appearances can be deceiving. Remember, endurance makes gold. Yeah, which goes back to the Cinderella story. She's like, in the beginning of it, she's like in rags, but appearances can be deceiving. Endurance makes gold. Your heart is enduring these difficult experiences, which alchemizes those experiences into gold for you. You will experience so many blessings. And the Learn Chinese word on the back is basketball, which also kind of reminds me, even in sports, they have that terminology, Cinderella story. Everyone loves a good Cinderella story, a good comeback story, right? The underdog. We love to see the underdog actually win in the end. So remember that this is like a long-term, this is your long-term vision. This is your journey over the long term. It takes endurance. Every experience we have is just a moment that is a part of that full journey. So keep being in that spirit of endurance and perseverance, because that's what will allow your life to become the golden experience that you do truly deserve. All right, so guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.